Hey everyone, a massive welcome to all the Class 12 students tuning in for this explainer. Look, if you've ever opened your electrochemistry textbook and felt, a sudden wave of panic, just take a deep breath. We've got this. Today, we're going to completely demystify electrochemical cells. Seriously, we are taking one of the most crucial concepts in chemistry and we're making it super clear, structured, and honestly pretty fun. We're tackling the Nernst equation.
But before we get into the math, let me ask you something. Did you know the voltage of a battery actually changes depending on the concentration of the stuff inside it? Think about that for a second. Whether it's that tiny little battery running your watch or a massive one powering an electric car, the power it puts out isn't just some fixed magic number. It literally fluctuates based on the strength of the solutions inside the cell. It's a real-world mystery, and today, let's understand exactly how to calculate it.
Now, up to this point, you've probably been calculating cell potential, the EMF, under perfect, ideal, standard conditions. You know the drill. Exactly 298 Kelvin, 1 atmosphere of pressure, and exactly 1 molar concentrations. We call that the standard EMF, or E0. But here's the catch. What happens in the real world? Because real batteries and actual lab experiments, they are almost never sitting at perfect standard conditions. And when those concentrations start to shift, well, those old standard formulas just aren't going to cut it anymore.
So what's our workaround? The solution is the Nernst equation. I like to think of this equation as your ultimate chemistry detective tool. It totally frees you from that perfect, standardized textbook world and lets you calculate the actual electromotive force, the EMF, of a cell at absolutely any concentration. It is the key to understanding how real chemistry actually works.
And what makes this equation so brilliant is just how it brings everything together. Behind the scenes, the Nernst equation neatly connects 3 completely distinct variables: the EMF of the cell, the concentration of your reactants and products, and the temperature. It literally takes these 3 separate factors and just binds them into one incredibly powerful relationship. Okay, let's see how this actually looks on paper. Here's the general equation. E equals E0 minus RT over NF times the natural log of Q. Okay, wait, hold on, don't panic. I know it looks like a crazy alphabet soup of chemistry variables, but I promise you it is way simpler than it seems. We're going to break down every single piece right now so you know exactly what's going on.
Let's decode this thing. E is our final goal, the EMF at our specific real-world conditions. E0 is that standard textbook EMF we start with. R, well, that's just the universal gas constant. T is our temperature in Kelvin. Now, N is super important. That's the number of moles of electrons transferred in the reaction. F is the Faraday constant, which is really just the charge of those electrons. And finally, Q is the reaction quotient. See? Not so bad, right? Every single letter has a very specific, easy-to-understand job.
Now here is where it gets really interesting, because we've got a massive mathematical shortcut for you. That general formula, it's great for theory, but for your Class 12 exams, you are rarely going to need all that heavy math. Why? Because the vast majority of the time, our experiments, and more importantly, your exam questions, take place at standard room temperature. So let's strip away all that complexity and simplify this equation specifically for 25 degrees Celsius.
Behold the magic number, 0.0591. Seriously, I want you to burn this number into your brain. Because by fixing the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius, we can just plug in the gas constant, the temperature, the Faraday constant, and even mathematically convert that annoying natural log into a much easier base 10 log. All of that messy, complicated math just completely collapses down into this one beautiful constant, 0.0591. Go ahead and let out a huge sigh of relief right now.
And that brings us to the absolute most important formula you are going to see in this entire explainer, the simplified Nernst equation. E equals E0 minus 0.0591 divided by N times log Q. The crucial takeaway here is that this beginner-friendly version is exactly what you need to solve numerical problems on your exams. It's streamlined, it's fast, and honestly, once you find N and Q, you are completely unstoppable. But wait. That does leave us with one lingering question, doesn't it? We know N is the number of electrons, but what exactly is Q? We keep talking about the reaction quotient, but we haven't actually defined it yet. So let's use a bit of critical thinking to crack this final piece of the puzzle.
It turns out Q is actually a super straightforward concept straight from chemical equilibrium. Q is simply the ratio of your products divided by your reactants. To be specific, you take the concentration of the products your reaction makes, and you divide it by the concentration of the reactants you started with. Oh, and don't forget the golden rule.
Each term has to be raised to the power of its stoichiometric coefficient from the balanced equation.
Let's make this concrete. We'll walk through a classic example step by step. Step 1, look at the reaction. Solid zinc reacts with copper 2+ ions to form zinc 2+ ions and solid copper. Step 2, we figure out Q. Now remember, solid metals don't affect our concentration calculations, so we toss them out and only look at the aqueous ions. That means our ratio focuses entirely on the concentration of the product ions, which is zinc, over the reactant ions, which is copper. Suddenly, all those abstract concepts become very real chemistry.
Now, I want you to really actively engage with this next thought. What happens if concentration changes? Imagine you're a scientist in a lab, and you deliberately increase the amount of product ions in your beaker. What will that actually do to the final voltage reading on your voltmeter? Let's predict the outcome together.
This brilliantly illustrates the heart of how the Nernst equation governs reality. It is an inverse relationship. If Q increases, meaning you have way more products relative to reactants, your EMF actually decreases. And conversely, if Q decreases, your EMF increases. But why? Why EMF decreases when the product concentration goes up? Well, think back to our simplified formula. You are subtracting that log Q term from your standard E0. If Q gets bigger, you're subtracting a larger number, which pulls your overall voltage down. Makes total sense, right?
Okay, now that we've got a handle on shifting concentrations, let's smoothly pivot to a highly testable scenario for your board exams. Let's look at a special case, equilibrium. What exactly happens to our cell and our equation when the chemical reaction finally balances out perfectly?
Zero. That is the massive shift right there. At chemical equilibrium, the electromotive force, the EMF of the cell, drops completely down to zero. The reaction has absolutely no more driving force in either direction. In real-world, everyday terms, this is exactly what happens when your battery is completely dead.
And because E drops to zero at equilibrium, we get to do this fantastic mathematical trick with our simplified equation. Our formula transforms. E0 now equals 0.0591 over N times log K. By setting E to 0 and just shuffling some terms around, we've perfectly linked the standard EMF, E0, to the equilibrium constant K. Q has officially become K. It is such an incredibly elegant way to connect thermodynamics directly to equilibrium.
Now, you might be wondering, why does all of this matter outside of a classroom? Let's connect these formulas back to the real world. The Nernst equation is the absolute backbone of all electrochemical cells and everyday batteries. Engineers use it to design power sources that actually last. Chemists use that clever equilibrium formula we just looked at to determine equilibrium constants in the lab. And crucially, it's the exact mathematical foundation used in pH measurement instruments all around the world.
All right, let's do a rapid recap of the essential takeaways you need to memorize to absolutely crush your exams. Number 1, the simplified formula, E equals E0 minus 0.0591 over N times log Q. Number 2, remember that Q is simply the ratio of products over reactants. And number 3, the special case. At equilibrium, the cell's EMF equals 0. Literally, if you lock these 3 bullet points into your brain, you are well on your way to success.
Just let that sink in for a second. Now you can solve EMF under any condition. We took something that looked super intimidating, stripped away all those complex derivations, and boiled it down to its most useful form. Remember, this is easy to apply. You've officially mastered the Nernst equation, and you've got the tools to handle absolutely any numerical problem they throw at you.
But our journey through the amazing world of electrochemistry, it is not over yet. We know how to calculate the voltage based on the ions, but that brings up a brand new mystery. Next up, conductance of electrolytes. How do these ions actually move through a solution to carry an electric current? It is a fascinating process, and we are going to visualize exactly how it works. Until then, keep practicing those formulas, and I will see you in the next explainer.